Hello class, welcome to week 11. I definitely am a little bit behind on my life in every way. I've been moving and putting boxes away. I've been recovering from being sick. I've been coughing a lot still, but much better. And trying to grade and been back to my other job. So I'm a little bit like you guys are feeling. You're feeling it, right? We get so busy, we work hard. Anyhow, I just want to address a few things. So, I think that a lot of you misunderstood, and I kind of realized this looking at my instructions for the last Sunday paper. I had two topic options, and I expected either topic option to come with a half page on the documentary. And I think I'm starting to think that quite a few of you thought that if you did the one paper, you didn't have to write the half page on the documentary. This has never happened to me before, and I've done this assignment a lot, but that's okay. Whatever the reason is, that's kind of looking like what happened. I realize in the future I will make it a little extra clear, but I want you to watch that documentary, and I wanted to see proof that you watched it. Look, I canceled the exam for this week, as you saw, as it stated on my module. So if I gave you only 10 points instead of 15, if you want to go back and watch the documentary and put the little half-page clip in there for it, I will give you the full credit if you do that. Okay, just to let you know. Just one thing I just want to clarify with this class, because for some of you, we're still having a little bit of problem. Maybe it's just because it's getting closer, you know, a little bit exhaustion with the semester. Every Sunday paper should have a date, a time period at least put in there, 11th century, something. Some of you I'm seeing are just kind of bypassing that altogether. So, you know, make sure that you're putting a context with your paper. That's still very important. Okay, so I just want to remind that of some of you, because I'm just starting to see a pattern of several people just kind of, you know. So just work on that. Just make sure you don't start getting, you know, kind of not putting in your 100%. Overall, I think you guys are doing great. And keep in mind, if you know, I give a lot of work, so there's a lot of points. If you think you can afford it and you don't want to worry about making up 5 points for an assignment, you can probably afford it, some of you, and that's okay. I'm not going to take it personal. I do hope you watch the documentary, though, because I think it's interesting and good. Okay. Now, you know, I've already got a good amount turned in on what we have for this week. We're talking about a lot of different subjects still, and again, you know, I realize it gets a little bit overwhelming, but I think that you guys are doing a great job of at least taking in and absorbing, you know, enough of just realizing all the amazingness of all of this history, and you're seeing also the role of Christianity in the West, and that's something that we keep going over, right? And then we talk about Islam again, and we're talking about Jews. Well, here's the thing. The majority of human history has had a religion as a major aspect of their society in some way. Rarely do you have a society that's been able, like, you know, that gets around this. And in the West, really it's the Enlightenment period that switches things up. And then in the Cold War, communism, and this is all later, much later. But then as communism would even fall, religion would often come back strong. I mean, look at in Russia right now. You know, Putin may come off like an old KGB officer, but actually he's coming off just like really the history of Russian leaders. And not to just kind of try to generalize or put Russia in a bad light, but the idea of a strong leader and a strong centralized government has been a part of Russian tradition. But unlike the Soviets, he's really quite wedded, excuse me, to the Russian Orthodox Church. And there's been a hard crackdown on gays and anything that's seen as kind of deviant behavior. So there's the role of the church in Russian society now is actually reasserting itself in its role, which it didn't during the Soviet era. So I don't know. You look at all this, you see what's happening, and I mean, you should study what happens to a lot of minorities or religious minorities in Israel. In fact, actually, even conservative and Reform Jews, which is the majority branches of Judaism in America, have some issues they have to deal with by the Orthodox government-appointed rabbinate, the rabbis there that are officially a part of the state of Israel. Even though Israel is more of a secular society, but yet there's not a separation of church and state now as well. I mean, in fact, no religious intermarriage is allowed in Israel to take place. You can do it out of the country and come back married, but they have more strict rules on that than even Iran, and believe it or not. My whole point is, this has been a thing in all different societies, the whole issue of religion and political identity and so on. So it's really good that you're getting the base here. And at the same time, you're also seeing these human beings and behavior and states do the same thing, right? So Mongols do the same thing, whatever religion they are. Vikings were pagan and they did their thing, and then they converted to Christianity, and they're still doing the violence and the takeovers, right, and the conquest. We saw that with Charlemagne. There was he was from a pagan Germanic background, go Christian. Same with Clovis, and not really changing much. So just stuff to think about. Feel free to still give me a call if you guys ever want to talk about anything or expand any thoughts. But that's all I have to say on that. And I just posted a video. It's Nowruz. It's a Persian holiday. It's first day of spring. May everybody be happy and enjoy, hopefully, some nice weather coming up. And we'll be in touch.